Lifeboat men and women come from all walks of life. In addition to their everyday jobs, they're willing to exchange the comforts of home for cold, wet, fatigue and possible danger. Whatever the weather, whatever the time of the day or night, the distress calls are always answered.
When I joined at 17, my mum wasn't too. I had to have a signature from my mum to say, hey, look, can I go on this? And she went, oh yeah, I don't know what it is. I said, it's going out playing on boats. She didn't really know what it is. My uncles did it, and they knew, but my mum didn't know. So in the first instance of it, she worried, but I've been doing it for I'm 31 now. I've been doing it a long time. I've done a load of shouts. It inconveniences them a bit when we're out having a meal and the pager goes off, because I'm gone. That's it. My job outside the RNLI is a nurse. I'm a nurse up at the hospital on the way there. I liked first aid, I always liked first aid, and I had a bit of experience on the ambulances, so I decided to look into hospital care and got roped in that way. Since I've had my little one, he's 8 now, 9 this year, when kids are out there and they're in a boat and it's first time and they could break down and stuff like this, it's important for you to make them not feel scared. Before, I didn't have that link. I'm from a big family, but I didn't have that father and son link. But now it's the same up at the hospital. It's horrible when people are ill, kids are ill. It didn't affect me years ago when I didn't have my little one, but now I have my little one. Things like that affect you because you've got that link.
I work up at the Lifeboat College in Poole, where I teach and train all the lifeboat volunteers around and about the coast. We're here to teach a purpose. As long as we can get them to do it safely and they come back in one piece, that's our main thing. Not all shouts end in a positive result, and you know there's always a moment of what if, did it go right, could I have done anything better? But if you dwell too much on it, then you'll never get over it. And I think the key thing is, as long as you know you've gone out and you've done the best you can, then that's all you can do really. Again, I've been to a shout where a fisherman who I knew had got lost at sea. We were out for 2 days, and yes, it's very sad, but you know, we went out and I know we did the best we could for 2 days, but to no avail. I'm so proud of what I do here, to go out there to help people, and again about the position I hold on the boat, I can help train others and bring other people on and, you know, assist people as and where I can really. So it's again, great sense of satisfaction doing it.
Originally I lived in London, moved down with my wife shortly after we got married, and my wife's from the local area. This is a nicer place, nicer part of the world to start a family, which was our original thoughts on it. It was a nicer place to bring up children, and it just seemed like the right place to come really. No, I'd never had anything to do with boats, either building them, going out on them for fun, or go on the lifeboat. It just didn't. It's something that I'd never been interested in before. So one's followed on from the other really. The interest in building them. You can see some of these programmes on the television, and you see the lifeboats ploughing through really quite heavy seas. In a strange kind of way, that appeals to me, to try and push yourself. And achieve something. You know, you've got a task to do. You never stop learning. Every day's a school day, and you can never truly stand up. Even the people that have been on the crew for many years, you know, there's just a different way of doing something, of improving something. It's one of those things that, you know, you do it and you sort of want to keep doing it. There's no pressure to you have to do it. There really isn't.
probably an ambition since I was a kid, actually. A lot of people say it, but kids like big orange lifeboats that make lots of noise, and it's something that has always appealed to me. I didn't waste any time when I came down. I applied to the station, within a month or two of moving down. It can get a bit heavy to be, to work and volunteer for the RNLI at the same time. It can get quite intensive sometimes, but you have to separate the two things out. I manage the logistics of the lifeguard service, so I make sure that all the equipment across the country is in the right place at the right time and is of the right quality. Through the sort of like early stages of the season, I act as a trainer, so I do a lot of operational lifeguarding and radio training, so VHF radio training, etc., and some first aid and resuscitation training. It's quite natural having a sort of like hobby and a job at the same time. They are quite different. What I do for the RNLI professionally and voluntarily are two really different things. So I do make an effort to distance them. But I'd say the difference is you have to make a conscious effort, because obviously I'm exposed to the professional side of the RNLI as a charity. And a lot of the things I see in here, you can't really share down the station. So there is sometimes some pressure to have a very professional head on there.
It was sort of an interest that I always wanted to become, or not become, but would like to have done a station mechanic's role, because my best friend back in St David's, he was the station mechanic there. I was a milkman, so I had my own milk round in St David's, and for many years it was good because it was a rural place. There was no supermarkets, no big competition, and then sadly a supermarket came to the area, which sort of knocked my sales and business a little bit. Admittedly, I didn't think that I would have had any chance of getting a job, just being because where Poole Station is located is 200 yards next door to the head office. As a full-time mechanic or a full-time coxswain at the station, I mean, their job role is to make sure that everything within the station runs and ticks. And yeah, it is a big responsibility, because at the end of the day, you are looking after volunteer crew. From my wife's point of view, I mean, for the sort of the worst moment for her really is through the middle of the night, because when the pagers go off 2-3 o'clock in the morning, you're woken up from a sleep, so you sort of woken up the whole house really. But you always, when you're driving down or cycling to the station, you're always thinking in your head what it is.
I work for myself as a freelance editor, so I proofread, edit and write articles for various magazines. I joined the lifeboat crew in 1995, so it's been a good while. There are some stations, I believe, around the coast that still don't have women on the crew, either because of the superstitions that go with it. Women were years ago thought to bring bad luck, and I'm sure there are still some lifeboat guys who will still say that's true today. But hopefully, we've got 5 women here on Poole Lifeboat Crew, and long may it continue is all I can say. I can distinctly remember the first time that I had to sadly deal with a death on service, and it, at the time, for me, obviously it isn't part and parcel of my day-to-day experience, and at the time your training kicks in and you try and deal with the person, hopefully that you're going to save them. I do remember coming back from that one actually thinking, did I do everything right? Was there any more I could have done to save that guy? With the amount of time that crew have to give up from their lives to both train, go out on 150 to 200 shouts a year. There's other work involved with the station, PR work, fundraising work, talks to schools, talks to adults. There's so much required of you that a part of it has to be enjoyable. I think if it wasn't enjoyable, it's like any job in a way. If it's not enjoyable, you're not going to commit your spare time to doing it.